Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. I would like you to, first of all, speak to the statement or the allegations that these surveyors have been in danger of kidnapping since the reckless statement was made by the governor's aide, Bola Taiwo, who blamed surveyors for not securing themselves despite earning large sums from their clients.
Yes, I don't think we have to focus on those negativity because in the first instance I was not there. I don't know the context. I don't know the mood. But what is important is to focus on the utterances or the commitment of Mr. Governor, who is the leader of the state, who is the chief security officer of the state, and which is his restated commitment to continue to provide security for the lives and property of the people of Ondo State. So the governor, to this end, has even called a stakeholder meeting yesterday to reaffirm the administration commitment to protection of lives and property. That's what is more important.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Sowore, what would you attribute to this recent spike in insecurity we've seen in Ondo State? First, it was the attacks last Saturday, the killings, and now the kidnappers. What would you say is responsible for these kidnappers? The governor, as you said, is the chief security officer of the state, and the buck stops at his table, is responsible for securing the lives and properties of indigents of Ondo State.
Yeah, thank you. If you recall, Ondo State have been a flagship when it comes to security, particularly in the southwest, because we share boundary with Ondo has boundary with the north central. Ondo has boundary with south towards Edo. Ondo has boundary with Bayelsa on the waterways. So what is happening is influx of some criminal elements who are coming in through the border and the boundaries without some proper documentation, and that's what the state has been battling with. But we thank God, and this is what led to even the establishment of Amatekun, if you remember. So that has been the challenge. But we are on top of the situation. The state has re-strategized to ensure that even animals are protected in Ondo State, let alone human beings. Nobody is happy to hear any negative news because Ondo has always been a peaceful state, and we'll continue to maintain that to ensure that the people have the confidence to sleep with their two eyes closed.
So who are we clearly laying this blame or responsibility on? You're saying that Ondo State has porous borders, and Amatekun was set up for this purpose. So Amatekun and the police, yet we're unfortunately still experiencing these killings, kidnappings, payment of ransom in Ondo State. So let's ask, on whose shoulder does the responsibility lie to prevent the porous borders in Ondo State?
You know, the security of lives and property is the first priority, is the first assignment of every government. And we have central government, we have the state, we have the local. But hopefully and thankfully too, it is the same government at the central, at the state, and at the local government. So at all the levels of government, we must synergize, we must cooperate to ensure that this onerous duty of protection of lives and property is maintained. Very important. We do not even have to apportion blame to anybody. The military, the Nigerian police force, the civil defense, even the state-owned grown Amatekun Corps, they are all doing well. They are doing well.
I mean, if they're doing well, how come we still have this incidents of kidnappings and attacks?
If you know the level of sacrifice that our security men are doing, you understand what I'm talking about. You can't apportion blame to anybody. We will always support them. We will always cooperate with one another. You cannot, for instance, say now, gone are those days when the federal government, the state government will say, it is the duty of federal government to protect the lives and property of the citizens of their state. And that's why you see the state government across Nigeria is coming out with the formation of state security outlet. Either you call it Hisba or call it Amatekun, because the security of lives and property is for all and sundry.
Okay,
we must ensure that our country, our state is safe.
Now, Mr. Sowore, on Monday, some surveyors, a number of them were kidnapped, and they was said that they paid a ransom of 20 million naira to secure their release. The Nigerian Institute of Surveyors argues that the responsibility of security is government and not individuals. Now, I'm putting it to you that should professionals like surveyors be required to hire security escorts for field work? And what can the private sector do in enhancing security with the state? How can they work hand in hand? Because the same Mr. Bola Taiwo said, you know, you guys earn a lot of money, so you should be able to provide for your security. So whose responsibility is it?
No, I've just told you, and I've re-emphasized the government and the Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa's commitment to the protection of lives and property in Ondo State. It is the responsibility of government, federal, state, and local level. And for the community people, it's intelligence gathering, maybe volunteer intelligence gathering to the security agencies, cooperation. But it is the #1 priority of government.
So we hear you clearly, sir. We hear you clearly, but we want to know specifics. When you say the governor knows the situation, is working on it, is his responsibility, what will be different going forward? What are his strategies? Will there be an increase in recruitment of Amotekun members? Are they going to hire more vehicles? Would it be more intelligence-driven? The people of Ondo State deserve to know the specifics and not just a blanket statement.
Yes, for instance, this year there's increment on the budget of Amotekun. So Amotekun will receive more resources in terms of logistics, in terms of hardware, in terms of operational vehicle, in terms of even psychological boost from the government. So that is definite, but not that alone. The state government will equally complement the effort of the Federal Security Agency vis-a-vis the military, the Nigeria police. When Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa came on board, he donated 25 operational vehicles to the Nigeria security agencies in Ondo State. We continue in that line and double our effort to ensure that this ugly trend is put to a halt. Ondo State remain one of the safest states in Nigeria, so we can't afford to lose that status.
What are the fears for, what the future should be in Ondo State? I mean, you're saying that the governor is on top of it. Nobody's definitely pleased with what's happening. What should we expect? Do we know who is behind these killings, these kidnappings? Do we have any clear information yet?
Has any arrest?
We do not have yet. Even part of some of this thing, yesterday there was a critical stakeholder meeting, and today there's going to be another meeting. All the security heads are running up and down for one strategy or another. But some of these things will not be disclosed until there is a breakthrough. But definitely, all the perpetrators of this heinous crime will be brought to justice. That the state government is committed to.
So what's your message as a representative of the Ondo State government to investors and members of the Ondo State public, and even tourists that might be apprehensive about traveling to Ondo State? Is Ondo safe and open for business?
Ondo State is safe. We are very, very committed to providing that enabling environment for investors to come around. And in terms of security, the government will double its effort to ensure that even animals, just like I said earlier, Ondo State is safe, let alone humans. So nothing to worry about. Citizens should go about their normal duty and just be vigilant and always volunteer information to security agencies and collaborate with them, cooperate with them to ensure that they carry out their duties and their responsibility diligently. It's very important.
Just so we should, we have a certain number, a definite number, the last attack that happened of the people that were killed. We did see 14. There was another one of an eyewitness who said there were, I think, 40. Another person said 9. There have been different distorted numbers. Do we know for sure how many lives have been lost? And how well are we doing in terms of data, collating the data of the people that have been affected by this?
Yes, the state government is working on it because, and that is the problem. People just rush to the media sometimes without having the correct data. But definitely, the number of people that, the number of casualties are not up to 40, they are not up to 20. It should be in the neighborhood of that 9 or below. But again, the exact number has not been ascertained because when you say people die, we have to get their pictures, their names, their relatives, so that before you go out and push this narrative, you know what you're talking about. So the state government is working on that.
So we cannot say exactly what the number is.
No, up to now, because the security agency have been there, they were able to interact with those who are alive in the hospital. So those who are dead, we have to get their data correctly, their pictures, their names, their family members, which the security agency are working hard to establish.
Okay, and in terms of the ones who have survived this and the families of the deceased, what is the plan of the state government to make compensation? We know there's no compensation that will be enough to console them for the loss of lives or the inconvenience they face for those who are maybe treating illnesses or dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. But is there any attempt by the state government to provide some form of comfort or solace or compensation to these victims?
Of course, absolutely. The state government will be responsible for their treatment and see how they are restored to their normal life.
Now, Mr. Sowore, you did mention that there's a critical stakeholders meeting in security going on in Ondo State as we speak. There was a meeting yesterday. It's going to continue today. My question to you is this. Is there any cooperation with the central government in Abuja and other sister agencies beyond the Nigerian police? Are the DSS involved in this security meetings, and should the press and the people of Ondo State expect a communique to be issued as to the after the meeting, so we know what was deliberated on and what the government plans going forward?
Yes, of course, there's absolute cooperation. I told you earlier that fortunately, the same government at the central, in other words, APC control government at the central, the President Bola Tinubu and Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa. Both of them are APC control level of government. So there's absolute cooperation between the security agencies and all the sister agencies. And almost on a daily basis, the government official and the governor himself will be briefing the people as to the level of development and normalcy that we've been able to achieve.
All right, it is a pleasure to have you, Allen Sowore, to discuss this. Unfortunately, these are not conversations that we're excited to have, and we certainly look forward to hearing more about what the state is doing. But beyond hearing more, we want to see that the people of Ondo feel safe again. But just to double check, we've seen a lot of people criticizing the governor's aide because of the statement that he's made, saying that his statement was made from a point of privilege. Are we expecting an apology?
Or punitive measures from the government?
That too will be taken care of.
In what form?
Don't let me let the bag out of the cat out of the bag. Just wait for it. But I know, to be honest, the government is committed to this. The governor is not